Okay, welcome everybody to this event. This is our second graduate student conference, and we're hoping to have many more. As you've no doubt seen, we have a wonderful program. But I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome back old friends, in particular Thomas Cousins, who is now a professor at Oxford, who was here in our department for 5 years, Adrian Steyn, who came through our ranks, and is now a PhD student at Harvard. They'll be with us for today, and I think that's quite wonderful. And all of you who are at different levels, Annie Jurkis, who's been here who was here doing honours a few years ago and has been working close to the end of her MA, and it's wonderful to see her back in the department. And I really hope that all of you learn from one another, that you take this as an opportunity to collegially engage with one another, to be critical with one another in a manner that's productive, and to really celebrate your own work and the work of the department. I'm not going to go on for too long. You see the program. I did want to say a little bit about what indexing transformation is. I know some of you know this, and I'm not going to be too long on it. But indexing transformation is an academic project based in this department, right? It's a project that draws on the collective labors of all who work here, right? With the aim of engaging the question of social transformation at multiple levels. While it is funded by the Mellon Foundation, in its very form, it's something quite different from traditional grants that are gained by academics at universities, in which academics get funds to buy out teaching and thereby oppose teaching and research. Instead, indexing transformation proposes that our teaching, right, and research can be linked, but they don't necessarily need to be cast in opposition to each other. It also proposes that a collective project at the level of the department is possible, that it's not just about the big professor and their students, that there's something more in that, right? So the project, on the one hand, funds a seminar series that developed out of the Indexing the Human project that Thomas was integral to, that was run in this department from 2015 and 2016. The concept is that different staff members in the department bring dimensions of transformation that they're interested in into the form of a seminar series, right? And that they organize a term or semester of seminars around this. So far we've had intersectionality, we've had a series on citizenship and governance, we had capital and race in the first semester, and we now have a semester on the university. The project also proposes to fund collaborative research in the department, and crucially it funds postgraduate students both directly and indirectly. Directly it funds honors and master students, right? At this level, because this is where in part our training is the strongest, and in part because there's a gap. But indirectly it also funds graduate student events like this one, and pulls in people in the department who may not, for whatever reason, have received funding, right? It also funds people to go to SASA. It offers a possibility of workshops that staff and students can organize. So it's SASA being the South African Sociological Association. So it's already a platform in which collective discussions, collective research between students and staff can happen in the department, right? And really propose to the department of a site as a site of collective activity, while recognizing the differences and the different foci that many people in the department bring, right? Of course there's some obstacles to this, right? Externally there's a question of what Stellenbosch is, an ongoing question of what Stellenbosch is in the South African Academy, right? Many students won't necessarily come to Stellenbosch, right, because of what the reputation it has, right? Perhaps even more worryingly than its past, the university in itself is committed to a model that seems to some extent to push against this kind of collective labor, that values research more than teaching, right? Particularly at the level of undergraduate, that is more worried about its corporate brand, that in the words of somebody at the seminar yesterday, is engaged in performative acts of transformation, right? But the substance of what transformation is in terms of teaching, in terms of pedagogical project, right, is not really engaged. right? There's also internal challenges in the departments, right? Such a project requires collective activity. It requires people to commit to this, right? And so it's quite hard in an environment in which research and teaching, research is rewarded above teaching, to ask colleagues to do this. You know, this is for a structural reason, not because of individuals, right? You get ahead in the academic world by publishing more, right? You know, and we are required to publish, and the incentives to publish are much greater than the incentives to teach. So these are the challenges that we face. Nevertheless, we're 2 years into this project, and we have a wonderful group of students. We have a wonderful group of people here today, of people who have been funded by the project, of a group of seminars that have happened, and that will continue to happen. And I think there's a real cause for optimism with this project, right? And so, as I said, I'm not going to go on too long, but again, I want to welcome you and thank you for coming, and invite you to have a splendid day in the department, and long may it continue, and long may we be able to do this and to host you all. So this day is about you as students, as scholars emerging in a career, as people engaging one another and thinking politically, socially, critically about what you're doing. So thanks again for coming. Just in terms of the logistics, in the morning we will have two parallel sessions. By parallel sessions, we mean sessions happening at the same time. So one of the sessions will be here, and one of the sessions will be in 406. 406 is a relatively small room. We are aware of that. The presenters will present for 15 minutes at a time, and the questions will be after that, right? Then we'll have a lunch break, and then we'll reconvene here. Professor Thomas Cousins will give a keynote, and then we'll have an afternoon session with slightly more people, and that will be divided between 401 and 403. Staff members in the department, some of whom are teaching, some of whom are other commitments, are going to filter in and out. We understand that you also have other commitments and that you may not be here for the whole day. That's not an obligation. We want you to be part of it as much as possible for you, right? To be. And we're very excited about all your papers. In the evening there will be a dinner as advertised. I've asked our RSVPs, and it really is, you really are all welcome to come. So thank you, and I wish you a great day, and thanks again. So in just a couple of minutes, there are people who are presenting at 406, and those who are going to watch, if you'd go there, and then the people presenting at 401 if you stay here. So thanks a lot.